Peace. This one's gonna be called. I just happened to see the Doggy Diamonds um response to Taxstone, and what I'm gonna say is it was a checkmate at the end of the day. Simply because if you call somebody a snitch or a cop, you have to immediately be able to show the paperwork in order for it to be relevant in any circle that you come from. Now, we heard in the interview that Tax on Vlad TV, ironically. And if y'all don't know, when I had a conversation with Doggy Diamond a month ago or so, I didn't look into it, but he did inform me that he had early wars with World Star TV, World Star Hip Hop, and Vlad. You know what I mean? So it's ironic that it happened on Vlad's channel. But what I'm gonna say is, again, if you call somebody a police officer or a cop, you know what I mean, you have to be able to show the paperwork where they cooperated, with the cops. You know what I mean? If not, it looks a little silly. Now, I think, this is a male dominated, for the most part, with medias. You got your media outlets. You know what I mean? People coming up in the game. You know what I mean? And it's a competitive market. You know what I mean? Just so happens that a lot of people. Doggies got great interviews. Taxstone did some good interviews. One thing he did kind of mention, Doggy Diamond, that he got a statement from I ain't gonna get into that or the whole Beanie Siegel thing. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into the Meek Mill interview. I don't know too much about Taxstone. I just started hearing about him when Beanie Siegel went on there. That's when I like, all right, I started looking at this dude, because I used to see him before, but I really thought nothing of him. I didn't think what he was doing was that special, But Doggy Diamonds, is somebody who goes way back, who kind of as he says out of his own mouth, that he's one of the first people to merge the hip hop and the consciousness. You know what I mean? Which is probably facts. Going back and looking at the old videos from Forbes DVD, and whatnot. But so he's solidified in the game. You know what I mean? And from what I know from having one conversation with him, he seems to be a pretty stand-up brother. I don't know Taxstone, never met him, don't know too much about him, but I do agree. Everything Doggy Diamond said was 100% correct. It was an interview where I heard Taxstone say that he hangs around with homosexuals. He has numerous homosexual fans. Now you can write that any way you want to write it. I'm not saying he's a homosexual, but he's hanging around, homosexuals. He says that, in the industry. Again, if that's what brothers want to do, I can't knock it. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know much about the cat Matt Hoffa. You know what I mean? But what I will say is that Doggy Diamond checkmated him on a lot of points. Because now what Taxstone will have to do, if he was thorough, which he probably won't respond at all, you know what I mean? Because he probably was just talking at the side of his mouth and shit. What Taxstone will have to do right now is produce the paperwork or produce the proof, you know what I mean, that Doggy Diamond was in fact, some type of informant or took the stand on somebody. If not, it'll make him look like a complete, total fraud, if he wasn't able to produce the paperwork. That's something I kind of pride myself on with our media outlet. Anytime we ever brought something out on people, we always had the paperwork and we had the proof, whether it be their words and, not a lot of speculation over here. So if I'm calling somebody a snitch, I'm going to give you the docket number in the statement. You know what I mean? So, other than that, the whole Meek Mill situation and the Tupac thing, let me touch on this. I got to agree with Doggy Diamonds on that. I'm neutral in the situation. I don't know. I'm just looking from the outside, but I gotta agree with Doggy Diamonds. It's kind of, for you to call Tupac, a snitch. He's not here. It's really suspect to do. Seeing the groundwork that Tupac, has put down, and this is overall message speaking out against the powers that be. It's really a sucker move, especially him being dead and his mother being dead, him not being here to defend himself. It's a sucker move, man. Either way you look at it. You know what I mean? And so that's why I have to kind of edge this out. I was waiting. I actually did a small video. I took it down because, you know, when you put Vlad's content up, whether it be audio or visual, you know, he has a tendency to strike you. You know, I guess he's in the network, to strike you right away. So I kind of wanted to avoid that whole fiasco. So I was like, you know what, let me take it down. I knew Doggy Diamonds would respond. You know what I mean? And he responded sufficiently for the media world. And so again, the next thing Taxstone will have to do, if he's a thorough Brooklyn nigga and all that, you know, it's going to kind of look bad on his credibility. You know what I mean? If he don't provide anything that he said, which I don't think is out there. You know what I mean? I never heard of nothing with Doggy Diamond's name in it. You know, as a snitch. You know what I mean? Another point, the whole Meek Mill situation. There were some words said towards Meek Mill, and what Doggy pretty much said was that, you know, Doggy Diamonds kind of came out and said it was like he went at Meek Mills. Now he was kind of, you know, sucking his boop. You know what I mean? And, you know, all I know is that I seen him going at Meek Mill, and, you know, a little while later, they was doing an interview in a Wraith. That's all I could say from the situation. I don't know the inner workings of it. I don't even know what he said about the Dream Chasers. So I would have to go back, you know, and find that film. But I do know that it was some contention, you know what I mean, there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I like both of their platforms, you know, what they bring to, I mean, I think, you know, Taxstone is a little boring. It's a little boring. Doggy Diamond, one of the interviews that was legendary was the PD Crack interview. Legendary interview, you know what I mean? So I tip my hat to Doggy Diamonds, you know, in that regard. But as far as, again, I don't know too much about Taxstone. I gotta keep reiterating that. But what I will say is that I hope that these brothers, because we all black and we're all in media, in closing, can come to a consensus, can sit down, talk, and piece it up, because there's bigger fish to fry out there. You know what I mean? I hope that y'all could come together, sit down at the table, chop it up. You know what I mean? Because since y'all in the same vicinity, we don't want to see nothing, you know, your boys come at his boys and shit like that, because both of y'all is big in the game. So, you know, but again, Taxstone, you cannot call somebody a cop or police without producing the record. It makes you look silly, and it makes you look sort of like a fraud that you just kind of threw it out there. But it's just little old in the black hip hop news. What the fuck do I know? I'm just a young cat coming up in the game. You know what I'm saying? But watch out though, because we coming up very fast. It's like when you look in the rear view mirror and you like, you got a comfortable league and shit, and you looking, and that shit just keeps getting it was small, then it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, it's like you like, that's in the black hip hop news. So make sure y'all share, make sure y'all subscribe. I appreciate I appreciate y'all for helping us grow super fast. We coming for you, academics. We coming for academics, you know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say. But it's all love though, man. It's love and it's competition at the same time. But I wish the best for all the brothers, you know what I mean, and sisters out there that have media outlets. Also, do me a favor. Y'all ain't been doing it. Y'all ain't been listening. I guess y'all mad because I said y'all attention span is a little short. That's not a shot. I'm just looking at the statistics on YouTube. It shows that your attention span is short, 2 or 3 minutes. It ain't my words. But go in the description box, please, people. It takes a second. Hit the button. Click on our new, it says new page, subscribe here. Hit that button. Subscribe to In the Black Hip Hop News 2. Subscribe to In the Black Hip Hop News 2. Subscribe to In the Black Hip Hop News 2. It's in the description box. Just go over there so I can start to put alternative content that I can't put on here for different community settings, reasons, and copyright reasons that I can put on the backup page, so y'all can get more raw, you know, more exclusive news. So it takes only a few seconds. It ain't gonna take all day. Go in the description. You can do it on your phone and subscribe to In the Black Hip Hop News 2. I should see 10,000 people do that, like right now. Let's go. That's my challenge to you. This is your brother, Oh God. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds. Shout out to even the brother Taxstone. Hopefully, I can come to a consensus and clean this shit up. Cause it looks kind of bad, you know, for the community. Peace. Make sure you share and subscribe.